Hello everyone, welcome to Ranker Sub. Today we are going to discuss 10 most important rules for error detection. We'll start one by one, we'll go to the next question. Okay, our first question is, I could not understand anything because I reached here just now. Now this is a sentence which is given in error detection mode. It is given in error detection format. Now your duty is to spot the error according to grammar. You have to apply all the grammar rules and find out the error in that sentence. Okay, when I read that sentence, I could not understand anything because I reached here just now. Now this sentence contains two actions, guys. This sentence contains two actions. The first action, the very first action says I could not understand. First action is understanding. First action is understanding, whereas the second action, the second verb that you can find is I reached. Now reaching is one more verb that you can find in the statement. There are two actions and those two actions are already completed. Both of them belong to past tense. Both of them belong to past tense. Now there is a rule of English language of past perfect tense. Of past perfect tense. The rule says when there are two actions in the past, when two actions are completed, you have to take an action which is getting completed first in between these two actions. Now which one is getting completed between these two actions? Understanding is getting completed or reaching is getting completed. If one action is getting completed before the other, you have to spot that one and keep that action in past perfect tense. That is a standard rule. When I read this statement, I could not understand anything because I reached here just now. Now when you say you could not understand anything because I reached here just now, you have to reach here in order to understand something. Now first thing that has to be done is reaching here. Now the action that is going to get completed first is definitely reaching. After reaching only you will try to understand something. Now the action which is getting completed first is reaching. Now this must be in past perfect tense, but it is not used in past perfect. It is used in simple past. Subject plus V2 is used. That is incorrect. Now what is the correction needed in the statement? I had. The only correction required is I had reached here just now. So where should I insert that had? Should I insert C? Should I insert that had word in part C or in part D? Guys, you have to insert that had word in part C only. Now the error is in definitely part C. Now this error was located based upon a rule called past perfect tense application. Right? Now guys, we'll move on to the next question. Before moving on to the next question, you can observe some more examples which are going with the same rule of past perfect tense. Now the second example, the first example reads like, after Sophie had finished her work, she went to lunch. After finishing her work, she is going to lunch. Now definitely she is going to finish her work, then she is going to have a lunch there. Right? Now the action which is getting completed first is finishing. Obviously that's why it is kept in had plus V3 format, nothing but past perfect mode. That is 100% correct. Now the sentence has no error at all. Okay. Similarly, read another example. I did not say anything until she had finished talking. The simple example says I did not say anything until she had finished talking. Now guys, she had finished talking. Till then you had said nothing. So first of all, she had to finish her talking, then you speak. The first action that is complete is she has to finish her talking. That's why it is kept in past perfect tense. Again, had plus V3. Right. Now in those examples, you can definitely understand the application of past perfect tense very clearly. Right. Moving on to the next question. The second question says, read this statement, guys. If you want to solve this question, you can pause the statement, pause the video and solve it. Okay. Now guys, anyway, as soon as the CEO entered the office, the union leaders approached him and report the matter to him. Now in order to solve this question, in order to find out the error in this sentence, guys, you need to know one more essential and most important basic rule of English language. That is very simple, guys. The rule is tense consistency. You have to know the rule of tense consistency. Now What is tense consistency? Tense consistency rule simply says if you are starting a sentence in a present tense, if you are starting a sentence in present tense, you have to continue the sentence in present tense only. Don't mix it up. If you are going to start the sentence in past tense, you have to continue that sentence in past tense till the end. Now, you have to be consistent while writing the sentences. If you have chosen present tense, continue in present, past to past only. Now read the sentence out. As soon as the CEO entered the office, the union leaders approached him and report the matter to him. Now when I read this statement, guys, look, as soon as the CEO entered is definitely V2. V2 nothing but past. I can say entered is V2, that is nothing but past tense. It has started in past. Now when it moves on, CEO entered the office, the union leaders approached. Approached is again V2. Again I got past tense, that is very nice. I want the tense to be continued like that. Okay, when I move on, I move on. Union leaders approached him and report is definitely V1. It is not V2. Actually, the report V2 form is reported. What is it? Reported. The very easy point that is missing in the statement is you are not using the past tense with other past words, right? You are using a present form which is incorrect. You have to write reported there. That's why the correction is needed in part number C. The correction is needed in part number C. Now that is how you answer very easy questions by knowing the rules of English language. Very simple. Now if you observe one more example which is solved based upon the same tense consistency rule. Now read the second example, guys. Sushma arrived here, did all the preparation, and then has called one of her intimate friends. In this statement, you can look at the error very easily, guys. In the part C, it simply says and then has called one of her intimate friends. Now when you say then has called, has plus V3 will happen only in present perfect tense. It will happen only in present perfect tense. I don't want present tense when I have started in past tense. Now observe. Now till the when the sentence began, like arrived, it is in past tense. Okay, when it continues till the end, it must be past. Has should not be there, so simply you have to remove this has and keep this in called mode only. That means it becomes V2. It becomes V2 and it will be moving to simple past tense. It will be shifted to simple past tense. Thereby you maintain the tense consistency. So the error is definitely in part C again. Yes. Now moving on to the next question. Third question says every one of the workers have participated in the strike against the administration. Now what is the error in this statement? When you read this statement, guys, every one of the workers is what you can see, then it is followed by a word called have. Is it correct? Is it proper to use that? Everyone is actually the subject in the statement. The word everyone is acting as subject in the statement. Actually, there are a list of words which are listed under indefinite pronoun category, indefinite pronoun category. Now everyone is a word which belongs to the list of indefinite pronouns category. Indefinite pronouns are subjects, or you can say pronouns can act as subject. When they act as subject, when indefinite pronouns act as subject, you can simply say all those indefinite pronouns, irrespective of the sense that they give, they are always considered singular in English language. They are always considered singular in English language. So simple sentence, see guys, every one of the workers is what is given here, every one of the workers. Now in the place of subject, guys, I have a noun called workers. It is actually preceded by a word called everyone, which is an indefinite pronoun. Indefinite pronoun simply says, indefinite pronoun rule simply says you have to consider the subject always as singular, irrespective of the noun present here. I'll consider the subject as singular and I will use the verb as singular, and the verb that needs to be there is not have, it must be has. Has is singular, whereas have is definitely plural. So the correction is needed in part B. The correction is needed in part B. See guys, one by one we are going to learn the most important rules of error spotting like this. Okay, now moving on to the very next question. Try to solve question number 4 now. Question number 4. Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the players who has won Ballon d'Or award. Full stop. Now this is a sentence given. Again, error or no error was asked. Again guys, it is divided in the sentence, statement is divided into parts. Cristiano Ronaldo is there in the first part. There is a noun, there can't be error. Then move on. One of the players who has One Ballon d'Or award. Guys, when you read this statement out, you can find one word in this statement, which is who. Now, along with who, you can have several other words belonging to the same category of who. They are whom, and that. There is one more word called which. These four words are basically termed as relative pronouns in English. They are basically termed as relative pronouns in English. Guys, there is a standard rule for relative pronouns in subject to verb agreement. When you are using these words in a sentence, you have to go with a rule. What is missing in this statement? Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the players who has. I have used has in accordance with Cristiano Ronaldo, which is incorrect. That has should not be there. It must be have, which should be used in accordance with players in the statement. The only correction in the statement is in place of has, you must have. This is the only correction you need. Now the part that must be corrected is part number C. Why did I do this correction? Very simple. The rule of relative pronoun says that whenever you encounter relative pronoun in a statement, you have to focus on the noun which is immediately before it, and that word will act as subject of the statement, not any other noun which is getting preceded by it. Okay, only the one which is used immediately before it will act as subject. So the one which is used immediately before who is players. Now the word players is going to act as subject. Players is definitely plural in nature. I can understand there are many players. Players is plural. The word that you are going to use, verb, must also be plural. Has or have, you have to go with have. Answer is have. So the correction is needed in part number C. Likewise, you have to spot the errors in all the sentences. Yeah. Next, moving to the next question. Question number 5 says, read the question, and if you want to solve, we can solve it by pausing it. Right. Now the question number 5 simply says, everyone likes Rabindranath Tagore's poems, who is a great poet. Like I told you just now, the word everyone, I told you just now, everyone is an indefinite pronoun. It must be singular when it is used as a subject. It is going with a word called likes. Likes is actually a singular verb. So in this statement, you don't have any error based upon subject and verb agreement. Everything is used parallelly. So there is no problem with that. When I move on, everyone likes Rabindranath Tagore's poems, who is a great poet. When I read this statement out, I will definitely have a feeling that this sentence does not have any parallel structure. What is missing in the statement? There is a word called who. Just now I told you who is a relative pronoun. Now after who, I got a word called is. Now before who, I have a word called poems. In this part, if I observe properly, poems is plural, whereas is singular, which is not balanced at all. Whatever the point that I am getting after who is talking about a person here. Observe properly, who is a great poet. Now there should be a name of a person in front of this relative pronoun, not the name of any poem here. Now poems is not required. Who is the person who is being described in the statement? Rabindranath Tagore is a person. Now what's the error? What's the error? That is a typical part. It is about the application of apostrophe usage. About the apostrophe usage. How to use apostrophe. Everything was good. The only thing is the sentence is not parallel because of the usage of apostrophe. The thing missing in this statement is apostrophe is always used with noun. Apostrophe is always used with noun. This noun should be a name of living person. It should be a name of living person. Now, when there is a living person, you can always use apostrophe to show position. To show position, guys, I'm just giving you a brief idea here. Position can be shown using apostrophe with nouns. Now, actually, those poems are written by Rabindranath Tagore. That's why I said Rabindranath Tagore's poems. But the problem is when you say Rabindranath Tagore's poems, there is a noun called Rabindranath Tagore, which is a name of a living person, which is 100% right. Even though it is right, I don't want a word called poems because there is a relative pronoun and there is a description of a person here. Now I don't want that because poems is not at all described there. The person Rabindranath Tagore is described there. That's why I want this noun in place of poems. How can I relocate this? How can I shift this? By eliminating this apostrophe. What can I do? I can eliminate this apostrophe and write the full form. Like I can say everyone likes Rabindranath Tagore's poems is there. Everyone likes, I can write the poems like this manner. See, I see everyone likes the poems of Rabindranath Tagore. If I write this, everyone likes the poems of Rabindranath Tagore, then followed by a word called who, then followed by is. If you understand properly, who is a relative pronoun which is preceded by Rabindranath Tagore and it is followed by a description which is describing this person only, then the sentence is 100% parallel. Even though the usage of apostrophe is 100% right in the same statement, it is not parallelly used. That's why I have used elaborated form of this apostrophe. So in this part, guys, part B is definitely containing the error because of the wrong usage of apostrophe. It should not be used in that separate situation. That's it. Now moving on, next question says 6-1. If I had a bag full of money, I would have helped the old woman. What's the problem? Very easy. The sentence started with a word called if. Any sentence which starts with a word of if is basically known as conditional sentence. This question is from conditionals. This question is from conditional sentences. What's the problem? Conditional sentences have prescribed structures, guys. There are only 3 structures of using conditional sentences. You have to use only those 3 structures when you write any conditional. Now it is written in one of those patterns. You check whether it is properly used or not. The sentence started like if I had is there. If I had a bag full of money, I would have helped the old women. That is what was given in the statement. Had is there, guys. In all the 3 structures of conditional sentences, I will get had only in third case, but had when followed by, had word when followed by main verb third form only makes it third case, only makes it third case or third format of conditionals. If you get had only without any main verb in the statement, if the main verb is absent in the statement, it will not fall under third category, it will fall under simple past category. It will fall under simple past category. Third category contains past perfect tense in it. Third conditional contains past perfect tense in it. Second conditional contains simple past in it. Had is not followed by any main verb. Now this had itself is a past form. I will consider this one as V2 and this will belong to simple past. When there is simple past, when there is simple past in conditional statement, it will be basically followed by other past words like would, could, should, might, etc. It can be followed by only these words. It should not be followed by any word called have, because have will be taken in only third structure, which is not correct in this case because I don't have past perfect tense. For that reason, I don't want have in that statement. That's why what I need to do is these words must be there, have must be eliminated, and these words must be followed by V1 only. They will always be followed by V1. So the correction is, if I had a bag full of money, I would help the old women. So the correction is needed in part number C. Yes, moving to the next question. 7th question says, I, you and he have planted 200 trees in this campaign. Now what is the error in this question? The error is very easy, guys. The rule that you need to know, which is very important, repeatedly asked in exams, is the pronoun order. The pronoun order is missing in the statement. If you observe properly, the sentence is actually a positive one. Planting trees is nothing wrong. The sentence is actually a positive one, but it started like I, you and he. I, you and he. I is always first person, you is second person, whereas he is third person. When you are talking about a positive sentence, when you are giving a positive statement, you should never ever use 1, 2, 3 sequence. The order of pronouns says, there is a rule, guys, you have to always go with 2, 3, 1 sequence. You have to keep them in 2, 3, 1 sequence. You should never start with I, because starting with I is always inappropriate. It shows your selfish character. Never ever do that. That's why you have to always start with second person named you. So order should be you, then followed by third person. Third person is definitely he, and then you are supposed to write I at the very end of the sequence. Now what is the sequence to be used? 2, 3, 1 is the sequence to be used. That's why the correction is needed in part A. That's it. Moving on to the next question. Yeah, the doctor prohibited her to take sweets after checking the reports. Question number 8. The doctor prohibited her to take sweets after checking the reports. What is the error in this statement? There is very easy rule that you need to know when you are solving such questions. You can see one word called prohibit in the statement. You can see one word called prohibit in the statement. there are two words, prevent and prohibit, which are very similar. Prevent and prohibit, whenever they are used in any sentence, they should be followed by. Observe in this statement, what is it followed by? The doctor prohibited her to take sweets, right? The doctor prohibited her to take sweets is incorrect. The doctor prohibit or prevent anything, if it is used, it should not be followed by preposition to, it should not be followed by V1. That means it should not take an infinitive. It should not take an infinitive with it. It should always be followed by, prohibit and prevent must be followed by preposition called from. It must be followed by from, and then followed by not V1. It should be followed by a gerund. It should followed by a gerund. Gerunds are always ing forms. That's why you have to say only one thing there. The doctor prohibited her from taking sweets. So what is the problem in this sentence? Part B contains errors related to preposition to usage, and then followed by infinitive usage, which should be replaced by gerund. Now from plus ing is required. That's why the doctor prohibited her from taking sweets after checking the reports, which is very easy. Part B contains error. Moving to the next question. If I was you, I would donate all the money to the poor. Again, if you observe properly, this sentence is also starting with a word called if. If sentences are basically conditionals. Guys, there is a case called subjunctive mood. In conditional sentences, all these rules that I am discussing are mostly repeated in exams. So please take a very good care of these rules, guys. Please make sure that you are learning all these rules and going to the exams. Now, if I was you was given subjunctive mood, there is a case of subjunctive mood. What is subjunctive mood? Guys, subjunctive mood always shows complete imagination. In English language, if I say a sentence is in subjunctive mode, it will completely show completely imaginatory or completely imagination or completely imaginatory issues. Okay, now in this statement, I said if I was you, which is not going to happen at all. I can't be in your place at all, which is a completely imaginary thing. If I was you, if I am in your place, if I just imagine in such case, the sentence will be in subjunctive mode. If the sentence is in subjunctive mode, there is a standard rule. You should never ever use the word was. Never ever use the word was. Instead of using was, you are supposed to use a word called were, irrespective of the subject that you have here. That's why simple. The point is, you should not say I was, you should instead say I were. You have to instead say I were. See, simply the correction is, if I were you, I would donate. Again, guys, this if I say if I were you, this will belong to simple past. It is followed by I would donate. See guys, word is there, would followed by V1 is there. This conditional belongs to simple past category. Simple past, nothing but the second pattern of conditional sentences. There are only three conditionals going with simple present, simple past, and past perfect. Now this belongs to the second category of it. Okay, right. Last question. The very last question says, this book is undoubtedly preferable. This book is undoubtedly preferable than that in many aspects, and its printing is also comparatively good. What's the problem in this statement, guys? The problem in this statement is, this book is undoubtedly preferable than. Prefer is a word which is very standard, very easy, very small word to finish off. Prefer is a word which will be always followed by a preposition called to. Even though there is a word, there are two letters at the end of the word er, it will not be followed by than. Er words are basically supposed to be followed by a word called than, but prefer will not be followed by than, it will be followed by to. So the correction is, this book is undoubtedly preferable to that in many respects, and its printing is also comparatively good. Right, now please like our videos, subscribe to our channel, and please share it as much as possible, and do subscribe to our channel, please. Okay, thank you so much everybody, all the best.